Have you ever noticed that you're almost a different person depending on who you're with? Around one friend, you're loud and effortless. Around another, you choose every word carefully. At work, you're confident. At family gatherings, you suddenly feel like a younger version of yourself. Around someone you admire, you become quieter. Around someone you trust, you're playful. So which one is the real you? Most people spend years believing these different versions mean they're fake. They worry they're pretending or that they don't have a real personality at all. But what if that's the wrong question? What if your personality isn't something fixed that you either have or lose? What if it's something your mind continuously shapes in response to the world around you? The answer begins with a truth that's both unsettling and comforting. You don't become different because you don't know who you are. You become different because your brain is constantly asking one silent question: how safe is it to be myself here? And that question has been shaping your life for much longer than you realize. Imagine walking into two different rooms. In one, everyone welcomes you with warmth. You laugh without thinking. Ideas come easily. You hardly notice yourself. In the other, every word feels risky. You monitor your posture. You replay your sentences before speaking. Even your smile feels different. The room changed. So did you. Psychologists have long recognized that people adjust their behavior to fit different social situations. This isn't necessarily dishonesty, it's a normal part of social adaptation. We all present different aspects of ourselves depending on context, relationships, and expectations. But there's a deeper layer. Your brain doesn't simply notice people. It predicts outcomes. It remembers where you felt accepted, embarrassed, criticized, ignored, or celebrated. Over time, those memories quietly become instructions. Be funny here. Stay quiet there. Don't disagree with this person. Don't be too emotional around them. These adjustments happen so automatically that they often feel like personality itself. But they're actually learned responses, and many of them were written long before adulthood. Think back to childhood. Every family has unspoken rules. Maybe being quiet avoided conflict. Maybe being helpful earned praise. Maybe showing sadness was ignored. Maybe success brought attention. Children quickly learn which parts of themselves are welcomed and which are discouraged. Not because they're calculating, because they're trying to belong. Psychologists describe this as adaptation. We naturally adjust our behavior to maintain important relationships and reduce social risk. The problem isn't adapting. The problem begins when adaptation becomes identity. Years later, the child who learned to never ask for help becomes the adult who insists they're independent. The child who earned love by solving everyone's problems becomes the adult who can't say no. The child who stayed invisible becomes the adult who struggles to be seen. These aren't random personality traits. They're old survival strategies wearing new clothes, and many continue long after the original danger has disappeared. Have you ever met someone who made you feel unusually calm? Someone around whom you didn't need to rehearse your words? Then you've probably also met someone who made you question everything you said. The difference often isn't your personality. It's your nervous system. When people consistently respond with curiosity, respect, and acceptance, your brain gradually stops preparing for emotional danger. You become less focused on protecting yourself and more able to express yourself naturally. The opposite is also true. If someone often judges, dismisses, or criticizes you, your attention shifts toward avoiding mistakes instead of being authentic. Without realizing it, you begin editing yourself, little by little, conversation by conversation. Not because you're weak. Because your brain is trying to keep you socially safe, adapting is useful. Constantly performing is exhausting. Many people eventually reach a point where they don't know which preferences are truly theirs. Do I actually enjoy this? Or did I learn that liking it made me more acceptable? Do I really stay quiet because I'm introverted? Or because speaking once felt dangerous? When you've spent years adjusting to everyone else, your own voice becomes difficult to hear. This is why some people feel strangely empty after social gatherings. Not because they dislike people, because they've spent hours managing different versions of themselves. The greatest cost isn't pretending, it's forgetting that there was ever another way to exist. Here's something surprising. You don't discover your authentic self by removing every adaptation. Some adaptations are healthy. Kindness is an adaptation. Professionalism is an adaptation. Empathy is an adaptation. The goal isn't to become exactly the same with everyone. The goal is to notice which changes come from choice and which come from fear. Ask yourself a simple question. Around whom do I breathe more easily? Around whom do I stop editing my thoughts? Around whom do I feel larger instead of smaller? Those moments are clues, not to a perfect version of yourself, but to environments where your mind no longer believes it must hide. Perhaps authenticity isn't a personality trait at all. Perhaps it's a relationship between you and your environment. Some people make your humor appear. Others awaken your confidence. Others bring back your curiosity. The right relationships don't create a new person. They create enough safety for hidden parts of you to emerge. Likewise, difficult relationships don't always reveal your true self either. Sometimes they reveal your oldest defenses. This changes an important question. Instead of asking, who am I really? Ask, who do I become when I feel safe? The answer is often far closer to your authentic self than you expected. Maybe you've spent years searching for your real personality, trying to choose which version deserves to stay. The confident one, the quiet one, the funny one, the careful one. But perhaps none of them are lies. Perhaps each one tells the story of a different environment, a different memory, and a different attempt to belong. The mistake isn't having many versions of yourself. The mistake is believing that adaptation erased who you are. It didn't. Beneath every role, every habit, and every carefully chosen response is a person who has been learning, adjusting, and surviving since childhood. Your different selves are not evidence that you're fake. They're evidence that you're human. And maybe the question was never, which version is the real me? Maybe the better question is, where do I finally feel safe enough to stop performing? Because sometimes finding yourself isn't about becoming someone new. It's about finding the places and the people where you no longer have to hide.